Okay, I just want to talk you through your algebra bubble diagrams. So I start off here with the basics. There's simplifying and substitution. Simplifying breaks into two: adding, subtracting, and multiplying, dividing. When you're adding and subtracting, you tidy up like terms. And what that means, add the x's together, but not the x squared, because that's different to x's. So it's the x's, any terms that are like. When you're multiplying and dividing, you do this order: sign, number, letter. So if you look at this, the sign is a minus, the number's a 4, and the letter is x3. Substitution is just straightforward. So this wee example I have here, m is minus 3, n is 2, and k is 6. And I want you to work out m squared n plus 3k. M squared is minus 3 squared times n, which is 2. So that's 9 times 2 is 18, plus 3 times k, 3 sixes are 18. So 36 and square root, that gives you 6. Then you've got brackets. There are two types of brackets. You've got singles and you've got doubles. Singles, you multiply everything through by what's outside. Doubles, that's FOIL if you want to use FOIL, but that's really up to you. I'll show you what that means. X add 3 squared means x add 3, x add 3. So FOIL means do the firsts, x squared. O is the outsides, plus 3x. I is the insides, plus 3x. And L is for the lasts, plus 9. I tend to just do it like this. Cover up the 3, multiply with the x. X times x is x squared, x times 3 is 3x. Then cover up the x. Positive 3x, positive 9. And then just tidy up. Okay. Factorising. Common numbers, so pulling out a 2. Common letters, pulling out an x. And remember, if you've left with nothing, you put a 1 in there. Difference of two squares. So x squared minus 25 squared is x squared minus 5 squared. And it breaks up x minus 5, x add 5. The grouping. You know it's grouping when you have 4 terms, like this. Do them in pairs. The first pair, pull out an x squared, leaving you a plus b. The second one's pull out the y, leaving you a plus b. You should have the matching bracket, pull it out, and you're left with x squared add y. The easy quadratics are the ones that go x squared plus something x plus something. So if you look at this wee easy one here, these are the ones that what multiplies to give the end and adds to give the middle, 3 and 4. So it's x plus 4, x plus 3. Harder quadratics are the ones that start off something x squared plus something x plus c. That's the one you do the AC method. So if you look down here, this one, AC is 6. How do you make up 6? It's a 6 and a 1 or a 3 and a 2. But I want it to be a 7x. That's the magic number. So I'm going to use my 6 and 1. So I rewrite my 7x as 6x add x. Look at the first two. Factorise the first two, giving you 2x, x plus 3. Nothing factorises in the second two, so just put a bracket around it. Brackets are the same, pull it out, and you're left with 2x add 1. Okay, the next one is equations. You've got two types of equations: linear, those are only the x's, and quadratics, they're x squareds. If you have a linear, letters equals numbers. That's the key. So if you look at this wee example here, times out your bracket, tidy it up, that's called simplifying it. So 4y, I put all the numbers over there. Remember, when you move, you do the opposite. Tidy up, bring your 4 over and divide. Quadratics, these are the ones that have got x squared, and you must have all terms on one side. You've got two ways you can solve these: factorise or formula. If you're factorising, you factorise and then you set each factor equal to 0. So if you look at this wee example I have here, it's the AC method, the harder factorising. So AC is 8 times minus 3 is minus 24. I want to choose two numbers that add to give me minus 2. So it's a minus 6 add 4. So remember, you rewrite that as minus 6a plus 4a. Make sure you put the a's in there. So factorise the first two to give you 2a, 4a minus 3. Nothing factorises in the last two, so you just put brackets around it. You've got your matching bracket, which is what you want. pull it out, and you're left with 2a, add 1. Now, because it equals 0, you've got to put each bit equal to 0 and solve. So each bit equals 0 and solve. I'm going to do the exact same question, only I'm going to use the formula this time. A is in front of the x squared. I don't know why I've put a squared there. A is in front of the x squared. B is in front of the x, and C is on its own. So x equals minus b. Minus 2 is a positive 2. Plus or minus the square root of b squared. Minus 2 squared is always 4. It's always a positive number, sorry. So minus 4 times a, which is 8, times c is minus 3. That tallies up to plus 96, giving you 100 overall. So splitting that up to add 10 over 16 to minus 10 over 16. And that tallies up to give you 3/4 and minus 1 over 2. So it's the same answers as I had over there. Okay. And the last one. Algebraic fractions. Whenever you see algebraic fractions, always simplify first. Always do that. Okay? They can ask you to do two things. They can ask you to simplify or solve. Okay? Can I just change that word there to factorize? Make it a wee bit easier. So, algebraic fractions factorize first. So if they ask you to simplify, you will always have factorized first. That's a better word. Okay. You can then be asked to add or subtract, multiply or divide. So let's check each of these. So add and subtract need the same denominators. So if you look at your fraction, they both have to have an a and an a plus 1. So the first fraction needs an extra a plus 1, so pop it on top. The second fraction needs an extra a, so pop it on top. Once you have the bottoms the same, times out the tops. 2a add 2 minus 3a, and then tidy up. Multiply is cancelling top and bottom, but you must factorise first. So factorise that to give you 2x plus 4 over 5 times. That's the difference of two squares. That's x squared minus 4 squared, which is x minus 4, x add 4. Now, any top cancels with any bottom, leaving you a 2 on the top and that on the bottom. If you're asked to divide, you turn the fraction after the division sign upside down and multiply. Okay, but you remember what I keep saying? Factorise first. So factorise this. It's an easy quadratic. What multiplies to give 7 and adds to give 6? Well, it's plus 7 minus 1. So a plus 7, a minus 1. Factorise that, it's a difference of two squares. So it's a minus 1, a plus 1, and upside down. So that's the difference of two squares on top and the a on the bottom. Cancel a top with a bottom. Now, do you see that a squared and that a? That cancels to give you an a on top. So it's 5a, a add 1 over a add 7 on the bottom. So that's your simplifying. Add, subtract, multiply, divide, but always factorise first. The other thing they can ask you in algebraic fractions is to solve. And you've got three types really. You have a fraction equals a number, and that's bring the bottom up. So if you look here, I've got a fraction equals a number. Just bring this bottom up so it becomes multiplying, giving you 10k, and bring that over so it becomes a division. That's it, done. If you have a fraction equals a fraction, you cross multiply. So if you look here, you take 2 add p and times it by 2. So it's 4 add 2p. And you take this top and times it by 3 to give you 9p minus 6. You don't have to put that bracketed line in. You can go straight to that line. Then you've got a linear equation. Letters on one side, numbers on the other. So 9p is bigger than 2p, so I'm putting all my letters on this side. So 9p minus 2p equals 4 add 6. And then bring your 7 over and divide. And the hardest type you're going to get, add and subtract. So you have to add or subtract first to get a single fraction. So if you look at this one, see I'm subtracting them. I must do that first to get a single fraction. That top line is really 2x minus 2, and that one is really 6x minus 9. But I need the bottoms both to be 15. So we've got to times this one by 5. So remember the top line was 2x minve, got to times it by 5. And you weigh that top line there was 6x minus 9. I've got to times it by 3. So now sort out the tops and watch for the minus signs. 10x minus 10 minus 18x plus 27 all over 15. Now you've got a fraction equal a number. So we're back to the first type. Bring your 15 over, becomes multiply. Move your 17 over, becomes take away. Minuses in each sign, so just knock them off. And then bring your 8 across and divide.